Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks a lot for joining in again in the program Watchlist at Magenta Trade. Today is 2nd of June and a Thursday afternoon. We are back with our regular YouTube live program, The Watchlist at Magenta Trade. We teach you how to grow your portfolio using option trading strategies. We explain in simple terms how you can participate in the world leading companies with a fraction of the amount that you would need as a normal investment. In the vast ocean of stock market, there are plenty of opportunities to gain from the movement of share prices every day. However, market is unpredictable, volatile, and sometimes complex to understand. In order to be successful, you need a disciplined, rule-based approach developed over a long period of experience in the market and focused on building a long-term portfolio to protect your hard-earned money. But first, let's have a look at our disclosures. And for that, I'd like to share my screen. All our discussions at Magenta Trade are solely for educational and information purposes. We are not investment advisors, and you should consult a financial advisor before making any investments. Option trading involve exceptional gains, but at the same time, they pose inherent risk. Past results are no guarantee of future gains. And for more disclosures, you can visit our website www.magentatrade.com. A quick few words about me. I've been trading for more than 15 years now, and I have turned my personal trading experience and passion into professional coaching. And we have formed this company, Magenta Trade, to share with you my strategy of success in trading using simple terms and techniques. My favorite areas of coaching are trade management and money management, and I've experienced the exceptional potential of trading options based on stocks and ETFs, and I help you understand how they might help you build a steady and reliable retirement income stream. As a coach, I focus on a daily routine, follow simple rule based strategy, use simple tools to enter and exit the trades, and manage your positions in 15-20 minutes every day. Okay, so at Magenta Trade, we base our strategies on three dimensions of investment: long term capital growth, building a retirement portfolio over a longer period of time, generating a regular income using stocks and option trading strategies, and ensuring your capital is adequately protected against severe market downturns so that your hard-earned money is not wasted in future. Okay, let's proceed to some of the earnings report that we have published earlier today in our social media channels. You can follow us there in the Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Also, of course, you are watching this in YouTube live. So please do subscribe to our channel in YouTube. And you can get a prompt whenever we are going live or we are uploading a new video. Okay. So in terms of the earnings report, the first one is Hewlett Packard or HP, and the company announced their April quarter 2022 earnings with 44 cents per share on a revenue of $6.7 billion, whereas the expectation was about 45 cents per share and a revenue of $6.8 billion. The stock is currently down by almost 6%. Revenue grew 0.2% year-on-year basis. The company said it expects a third quarter non-GAAP earnings of 44 cents to 54 cents per share, and the current consensus earning estimate is 52 cents per share for the quarter ending July 31st. The company also said it now expects a fiscal 2022 non-GAAP earnings of $1.96 to $2.10 per share, and continues to expect a revenue of $28.62 billion to $28.90 billion. Okay, so in terms of earnings per share, the company's current forecast is less than the previous guidance, which was $2.03 to $2.17 per share for the entire financial year. In terms of some other details, Net revenue of $6.7 billion is up by 0.2% and 1.5% adjusted for currency from the prior year period. Intelligent Edge revenue was $867 million, up 8% from the prior year. High performance computing and artificial intelligence revenue was $710 million. Compute revenue was $3 billion. Storage revenue was $1.1 billion, down 3% from the previous year. Okay. Now let's move on to the next one, which is Hormel Food Corporation. HRL reported their April 2022 quarter earnings of 48 cents per share on revenue of $3.1 billion, whereas the expectation was 46 cents per share on revenue of $3 billion. Revenue grew 18.8% year on year. However, the stock is currently down by almost 5.7%. The company said it now expects fiscal 2022 earnings of $1.87 per share to $1.97 per share, and continues to expect a revenue between $11.7 billion to $12.5 billion. Hormel Foods Corp is engaged in the production of meat and food products and the marketing of those products throughout the United States and internationally. Okay. Some other details: record net sales of $3.1 billion, up 19%. Organic net sales up over 10%. Operating income $335 million, up 16%. Volume of 1.2 billion pounds, down 2%, and organic volume down 8%. Effective tax rate of 18.7% compared to 22.1% last year, and cash flow from operations $193 million, up 24%. The stock is currently down by 5.7% on weaker guidance of the upcoming quarter. The next one, Spartan Nash Company, SPTN. Spartan Nash reported their March 2022 quarter earnings of 83 cents per share on revenue of $2.8 billion, whereas the expectation was 65 cents per share and revenue of $2.8 billion. Revenue grew 4% year on year. The stock is currently up by 4.2%. The company said it expects 2022 earnings of $2.24 to $2.32 per share, and continues to expect a revenue of between $9 billion to $9.3 billion. Spartan Nash Company is a regional grocery distributor and grocery retailer operating in Michigan and Indiana. Its stores include Econo Foods, Family Fare, Family Fresh Market, Sun Foods, and among others. Okay, some more details in terms of the earnings numbers. Consolidated net sales increased $1.5 million. Gross profit was $450.6 million, or 16.3% of net sales. Reported operating expenses were $422.4 million, and the company reported operating earnings of $28.1 million, up compared to $30.2 million in the prior year quarter. Net sales for food distribution increased $36.8 million, or 2.8%. Okay, moving on, Toro Company, TTC. They reported their April 2022 quarter earnings of $1.25 per share on a revenue of $1.2 billion, whereas the expectation was $1.2 $29 per share, and revenue of $1.3 billion. Revenue grew 8.7% year on year, and the company now expects a fiscal 2022 earnings of between $4 to $4.15 per share. But the expectation was an earnings of between $3.90 to $4.10 per share. Sorry, that was the previous guidance. Toro Company is engaged in designs, manufactures, and markets professional turf maintenance equipment and services, turf irrigation systems, landscaping equipment, and residential yard and snow removal products. Okay, the stock is up by more than 4.3% now. Let's look at some of the other numbers. Operational execution drives a sequential quarterly gross margin increase and improved a full year outlook of $1.25 billion. Second quarter reported diluted earnings per share of $1.24. Net sales of $1.25 billion, which is up 8.7% from $1.15 billion in the second quarter of fiscal 2021. Net earnings of $131.1 million, down 7.8% from $142.2 million in the second quarter of fiscal 2021. Professional segment net sales for the second quarter were $925.8 million, up 11.8% compared with $828.4 million in the same period last year. Okay. So let's go back to what's happening in the market now, and I'll switch off my video so that you can see the full screen. Quickly, Dow is up by 305 points with a strong positive momentum today. And again, the index is above the 30 days weighted moving average, and DPO is almost touching into the positive or the level of zero. Currently, it is minus 98. So as you can see, it has already broken out of this negative, or you can say bearish channel. And currently, even though it is not touching the previous high of, let's say, 21st of April, but it is still trying to reach out to this previous strong support level of 33,281. So now that support level is probably, my apologies, this is the channel, or you can say the range that we calculated yesterday, I think, or day before yesterday. Sorry, it is not really the previous support level. That was a different. Now this is a kind of the range that we are expecting. It might operate within next few days. So it has still not broken that high of yesterday. Yesterday high was a higher than previous day's high. So today it has not beaten the yesterday's high, but current price or current index value is more than yesterday's close. So that's why it is up by 270 points. So that is interesting. And certainly it is more than where it opened today. So that's also very interesting. So it is a lower high, lower low overall as of today from yesterday, but the current index value is more than the previous close. So that's why it's higher by almost 0.86%. I am thinking that maybe these indices, Dow and then S&P 500 and then NASDAQ, they would probably operate within a particular range. Let's look at what's happening with SPX, or you can say S&P 500. Again, it is within the still within the range or within the previous high achieved on the 31st of May. So it has not yet beaten that particular high, but today's or current index value is much higher than where it closed yesterday or where it opened today. So it is up by 1.4%. So that is definitely a positive, but still it's operating within a range for some time now. For 4 days, it is almost the level is at the same. The high is almost at the same. So that is pretty interesting. I'm not sure whether it will retrace back from there towards the bottom part of this range again. That is also quite possible. From here, if it is not able to break that barrier, it is possible that it will move towards downside. Let's see. Maybe I'll just create another chart there, and I'll try to understand what's happening with some other indicators for S&P 500. Let's remove these drawings and try to do some other analysis on this. Okay, these negative channels I will delete quickly. By the way, in the Fibonacci retracement, these are still above the 38% region, which is 4126. But it is very close to that. So it is not really, it is quite possible that it rebounds or it retraces from this level actually. So that is also another factor. Okay, so I'll remove the Fibonacci retracement. Remove the drawings. Okay. Now let's see where it is in terms of Bollinger Band. In terms of Bollinger Band, also, if you see, right, it is approaching that higher part of the band or the the upper band, and from there it is possible that it retraces back to the lower band once again. So that is also possible because it is not able to break through that barrier for 3 days now. It's almost at the similar high. So that becomes a concern to me now. And that level is almost at these two bottoms as well, these two lower levels. So from where it picked up last time in the month of March. So that becomes like a resistance. I'm not saying exactly that it is a resistance, but it is a higher range, and it is gradually becoming a resistance. The same pattern probably follows in the NASDAQ as well. However, today's high is higher than yesterday's high. So it is gradually increasing. So for NASDAQ, it's a little bit different. And in NASDAQ, there was a support level here, which has probably become the resistance now, which is at 12,397. However, again, it is approaching the higher part of the Bollinger Band, So I'll keep it here now then. And I'll keep this drawing as well, so that we can understand what's happening. I'll remove the channels from here, the bearish channel that we earlier drew. Right. But I'll keep that line maybe. DPO is still in a negative, but it is improving. It has become minus 111 now. Okay, so that's about NASDAQ, which is up by 292 points or 2.44%. Dollar index is down by 0.7%, and VIX is down by 3.2% almost. Gold is up by 1.2%, silver is up by 2.1%, and oil is up by 1.7% today. Now let's look at some of the other stocks, what is happening in the market. There is a news from Microsoft. Let's open that news here. Right. Microsoft on Thursday lowered its fiscal fourth quarter earnings guidance to 2.24 to 2.32 per diluted share from a previous range of $2.28 and $2.35, citing the impact of foreign exchange rates. The company also cut its revenue outlook for fourth quarter fiscal to between $51.94 billion and $52.74 billion, from the range of previously reported $52.4 billion to $53.2 billion. Okay, so that's why the stock is currently down by, well, it has become positive now, almost flat, but earlier it was down. But it has recovered significantly from there. Interesting, the volume is quite high there, so that is interesting. So I think in spite of that negative revenue guidance or negative earnings guidance, Microsoft is doing well today, because the other NASDAQ shares are doing better. We have got a position in Microsoft. I have got in my personal account. I'm not sure whether we have got the position in our demo account, but this is interesting. Now let's look at this and try to analyze more of this. So Microsoft has today's price has crossed the 20 days moving average and 5 days moving average as well, in spite of opening lower. And since morning, it has actually recovered significantly on top of significant volume there. So that is very interesting. So in spite of this negative guidance today, the stock has recovered a lot from today's morning. So that gives me good confidence about the company for the near future. That would be pretty good. And yeah, so it looks pretty good there. Dividend yield is trailing 12 month is 0.89%. Right. Revenue has been consistently increasing, and analyst rating is a strong buy, which I agree with. So they are saying it's another $50 up potential is there. Okay, let's look at something else. You might already heard the news in Meta platforms. So Facebook, Meta platforms, the COO Sheryl Sandberg announced that she is leaving her role as Chief Operating Officer, and Chief Growth Officer Javier Olivan will take over the position in this fall. The stock is currently up by 5.6%. And the stock is recovering from the previous low of 169 levels, and so currently it is at 200, but it is much lower than the previous like a 52 week high level as well. So there's a lot of room there to grow from here, and it is possible that it will reach this higher level of $230 as well. 236 rather. Anyways, the stock is up by 5% today. Gamestop, actually, they also announced their earnings today. Gamestop, let's quickly have a look. So they reported their first quarter, April 2022, loss of $2.08 per share on revenue of $1.4 billion. Expectation was about a loss of $1.37 per share on revenue of $1.4 billion. Revenue grew 8% year on year. However, the stock is up by almost 10% now. It's interesting. It also reported $157.9 million net loss, which is worse than $66 million net loss in the year ago quarter. So that is interesting, isn't it? The earnings per share numbers are down. Revenue is flat as per expectation, but still the stock is up by almost 11% now. Inventory is higher. The loss is higher. Not sure. Probably. Let's look at some guidance if there are anything particular that's interesting or available. Okay, let's move on to the next stock, maybe Chiwi. It is in our list. Chiwi is up by 22%. Again, they reported their earnings there. Yesterday after the market hours. And let's look at their earnings numbers. Earnings of 4 cents per share on revenue of $2.4 billion. Previous expectation was loss of 12 cents per share on revenue of same $2.4 billion. And revenue grew 13.7% year on year. The company said in its shareholders letter it expects second quarter revenue of $2.43 billion to $2.46 billion, and continues to expect fiscal year revenue of $10.2 billion to $10.4 billion. And okay, so that is interesting. The stock is up by 20%. Gross margin of 27.5%, declined 10 basis points year on year. Net income of $18.5 million, including share-based compensation expense of $27.2 million. Net margin 0.8%, declined 100 basis points year on year. Not sure exactly why the share price has increased by 22%. I'm still not able to decipher anything from the earnings announcement. Well, the company has said fiscal year 2022 is off to a good start as we drove a solid 14% top line growth and delivered sequential improvements in gross margin and profitability. Our first quarter results are a testament to the resiliency of the pet category and clearly demonstrate our ability to execute against our strategic priorities. Okay, so let's move on to some other news items. Generac. Generac Holdings is up by almost 9% today. I think there is some update from UBS on the company, and they probably started, they picked up it is following for their analysis. Okay. So that's more or less. The market, and let's look at our from our watch list perspective. Advanced auto parts is up by 1.38%. Apple is up by 1.1%. Accenture is up by 2.2% or 2.25%. Analog devices is up by 2.28%. Akamai Technologies is up by 1.3%. Ambarella is up by 5.6%. AMD is up by 6.7%. So that's interesting. AMD. Amazon is up by 2.3%. Arista Network is up by 3.9%. Okay. Digital Turbine is up by 10.5% after yesterday's fall significantly from the numbers. ATVI is up by almost a percentage. Bumble is up by 9.4%. Some of the stocks are really, really high. Salesforce is up by 6.7% once again after yesterday's rise. Crocs is up by 8.2%. DocuSign is up by 6%. Meta we already discussed. Fortinet is up by 4.7%. And Enphase Energy is up by almost 8%. It's interesting. Google is up by 3.1%. Once again, it is breaking through the 20 days moving average. So that would be interesting. These two companies, Netflix, there is a potential there. Nvidia, yeah, it has also broken through the 20 days moving average and 5 days moving average. But all of them are approaching the 50 days moving average there. So, it is possible that, they are moving towards the resistance levels. Let's see what happens in the next few days. Of course, the stocks are at the bottom, and it is quite possible that, they make a turnaround from here. The market is changing now after the positive news from China that there would be, lesser restrictions now from tomorrow, I think, or from today itself. Yes. Upstart is up by 10.4%. Workday is up by 7.8%. Unity Software is up by 14% again today. Wow. Okay. And Revolve Group finally is up by 8.5%. Okay, so if we have to look for some trades today, let's look at maybe Microsoft. Yeah, I'm very positive about Microsoft today. Workday. What has happened to Workday? The volume is weak in terms of 10 days average, but still the stock is high, so that is positive. Tesla, 26 million, so it will probably touch the 10 days average. Qualcomm is up by 4.2%, but the volume is still not at 10 days average. Nvidia, good volume, but still lower than the 10 days average. Okay, let's look at Microsoft because there is a strong interest in Microsoft today. I really like that. And so if we, let's say, take a level of 260, that would be pretty good. 260. From here, 260 is just about 4%, 4-5% down, like, from today's high. Let's say maybe even we can actually look for 250 as well. Let's see what's available. Okay, let me quickly log into the system. I have not yet actually logged in to our demo platform with interactive brokers. Just give me 1 minute in order to do that. Should be all fine. Okay. In terms of other things, as you are already aware, we look for a clear strategy in our approach every day in terms of entry and exit to grow our portfolio, safeguarding the capital from massive volatility in the market. You should always look for opportunities in the market, whether the stocks are going up, down, or sideways, and our strategies should consider all scenarios that market presents to us to explore new opportunities every day. At Magenta Trade, we teach you how to follow the simple steps to explore and invest in stocks and options, following clearly defined rules to trade management, entry, and exit. Okay, investment is a process of consistently applying the techniques that we teach on a regular basis and aim for success with perseverance and analysis. Finally, investing is a process of continuous learning. There's no better investment than educating yourself with better strategies and techniques. At Magenta Trade, our complete focus is on educating in the investors and traders so that they can find new opportunities by themselves and do their best with their investment. I'd like to say a few words about our options trading masterclass program, where we start from teaching from the fundamentals. You can still join this program for this month. We are starting shortly, and we follow a step-by-step approach for entry and exit there in different market conditions to explore new trading opportunities. Our rule-based strategies help you find profitable trades, and using simple tools and techniques, we teach you how to manage your trades on a daily basis based on developing market conditions. Also, to help you in day-to-day trading, you can join us in our live trading sessions where we make real life trading and show you the positions that we are trading. Okay, so let's go back to our chart there. Yes, I understand. Okay, let's look at, let me go to the option chain there. Switch on strategy builder. And let's go to July 15. We are looking for Microsoft. We're looking for July 15. And if we say that we are selling 250 put option, if we do 260, then we can get a good price, but let's do a 250 and see what we can get. 250, 245. Still, we can get 79 cents credit on that. So that is pretty good. Let's post that trade. Let me enter that in my personal account as well. Okay, so let's see whether that trade has actually gone through or not. Maybe we can 76 cents. Update that. 75. What's 75? Let's make it 75 so that it goes through. We have closed our AMD trade today here there because we achieved the profit target there. Yeah, so we closed the AMD position. Right. Also, the Salesforce, that trade is now on 150, 155, 150. I think we did this trade yesterday as well. 250, 245, Microsoft. Okay, so okay, this is the same trade that we have taken, right? So that's fine. Then we can cancel it. Because we already have that trade. Right. Right. We already have that trade from yesterday. So the yesterday's trade that was executed. Okay. Now let's look at some other numbers, other opportunities then. Netflix. Let's look at Netflix. Or maybe Meta, Facebook. Let's see if we can get a trade here in Facebook. 198. The bottom was 164. Oh, sorry, 169. Let's look at what we can do for Meta. Meta, Facebook. Let's look at 170. So if we sell 170, which is 15 delta, and buy 165 put option, we're dealing still in put option 69 cents. That's also pretty good, isn't it? So if we go back to the chart, lowest was 169. So currently we are talking about 198 market price. So let's that is also fine. So submit this order. I think 69 cents is fine. Let's see whether it gets executed or not. $0.69. Okay. So that is something we'll try. Meta. Okay, let's see whether it gets executed or not. Maybe we can reduce it by, that's fine. We don't need to reduce it. We can continue with 69 cents. Okay, finally, let's look at something else, maybe Fortinet. Stock has passed the 50 days moving average there. So there is still possibility of reaching up to 370 there. So if we look for something around 260 or maybe even 270, should be fine. Let's look for 260, and then if not, then 270. Fortinet. When is their earnings? It's important. No, earnings is fine. July 15, Fortinet 270 or 260. 260 is a 17 delta. 260, 250. That's a $10 spread. That is $1.50, which still meets our criteria. Let's have a look. 260. Yeah, 260, 250. It still meets our criteria, $1.50 on a $10 spread. So that is perfectly fine. We can take that trade. Okay, I think that's about it. Let's see whether our orders get executed or not, and then I'll update you tomorrow. Thanks a lot for joining in today. And I think that's about it. So let's monitor the other positions. If you'd like to know more about our options trading course, just visit our website, magentatrade.com. You can also follow our social media channels in LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. And you can, of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you like our videos. Thanks a lot, and see you there tomorrow live once again. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye.